A busload of 26 children between the ages of 5 to 14, plus their bus driver, who was 55 as at the time, were abducted in the city of California few years ago. This story is something popularly known as the Chowchilla kidnapping. Let's dive in. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the media playboy, girl with the media vibes, and today's twists and tales is an exciting story that I found across social media. And this story is a real life happening that happened few years back. What got me excited that I decided to talk about this story was that it was something that was inspiring. So on the 14th of July 1975, if I'm correct, 26 school children between the ages of 5 to 14 were abducted in a school bus on their way back from a swim party at a fairground in California, in an area, a small community known as Chowchilla. Now, the funny thing is that they were just coming back 4 p.m. in the evening, and next thing they meet three guys who come from nowhere, abduct the school bus, and then, divide them into two, put some in a particular van, and put the others in a different van. Now they take them somewhere so far away that nobody knows where they're going to. And the creepiest, annoying part about this real life story is the fact that these kids were buried alive. 26 school children plus a bus driver were buried alive underneath the ground. The victims include 19 girls and 7 boys. They drove for about 11 hours until they got to a particular part. Nobody would see them, or nobody would even know where they were. And then the next thing they realized is that they put them into a moving van, and before you know it, they're buried alive underneath the ground. Now you can imagine how scared they would have been. Now this abduction was done by 3 men from wealthy families. So if you're wondering what would make them actually decide to abduct innocent children, for what reason? So after 16 hours buried underground, 2 of the older children were able to dig their way out. I don't know how they did it, but this was an incredible, brave thing to do, and that's the inspiring thing about the story till today. The bravery of these school children is what makes this story more interesting, and something that people still remember till today. I mean, imagine 26 children under 15 years old and then being stuck on the ground for 16 hours, no food, no water. Why bury them alive? And these guys were from wealthy families. What were you looking for? Were they owing people? Probably they had gambled, or just something, or maybe just a psychological thing, because I didn't even hear anything like they wanted ransom or something like that. But I don't know, maybe they were trying to explore things, I don't really know. But the interesting thing is how 2 of the older kids were able to dig their way out of that really deep hole and then get out, including the driver, go to the nearest police station, tell them about the case, and then the police came and saved every other person, and everybody returns back home to their parents. Now this is something traumatizing for the kids, because a lot of them still came out to say how they felt like they may be abducted another day, or they felt like they might be kidnapped, and this time they may not be able to find a way out. But I really applaud those ones that were brave enough to dig their way out despite everything, the injuries, the pain, just so that they could get back to their families. I heard that till today they still celebrate this particular day in Chowchilla, and they actually have a monument somewhere around the park and schools just to remember this particular act by the kids. This was a world event that shaped the entire community. The 3 people that did this kidnap were under the ages of 25, and that's the shocking thing. But they were all arrested, and then they were sentenced to life imprisonment without the chances of parole. So parole is simply where you may have conditional release, maybe due to one thing or the other, but they are still going to be supervising you, following you around, making sure that you do other kind of like community things and all, instead of you serving your full sentence, depending on whatever your full sentence is. So I think by 2012, 2020, all these guys were later released parole. So, they still had to do other things. They were still supervised and all that. But the kids today are all grown. Same thing with the bus driver. Now, for me, this story is inspiring. So I'm just sharing it with you guys out there. And for parents, please be careful. I mean, for me, I don't like the idea of school buses because even the drivers, you can never trust anybody. But if you trust someone, they can drop your kids and pick them up, from school. I think it's much safer, yeah. And then also teach your kids survival skills. I mean, this is important. Emergency situations, things that can happen. Teach them how to be aware of the environment. Teach them how to know what to do in particular situations. This is very important to the growing kids out there because the world is changing. A lot of people are no longer safe, and we're coming out to hear different stories like the Diddy case and how kids can't even speak up and tell their parents certain things. So make your kids comfortable, teach them the things that they need to know. And I hope that this would help someone out there. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Twists and Tales, where every story takes an unexpected turn. See you next time. Until then, go find your asa. Take it from the Media Playboy.